Another year of CP3 not getting that elusive championship of his. And honestly, some of the blame might be on him. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on Monosports Talk. And in this video, I'm breaking down why CP3's legacy may have changed because of this 2021 NBA Finals. I mean, we know CP3 is an incredible player. I'm not saying that he isn't. He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot. He's an incredible point guard, one of the best we've ever seen. But the fact is that he didn't get it done in these NBA Finals. I made a video on how CP3 would be the Finals MVP if the Suns ended up winning, which they didn't last night. The Bucks won. Congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks. But if the Suns were going to win, it was going to be through CP3. If CP3 would have delivered, the Suns would have won. And that stood. And I said that if the Suns win, CP3 would have to put up performances. And he didn't. He didn't deliver. He didn't get it done when he had to. In the biggest games of his career. I mean, this is the first time he's ever made it to the Finals. And we all know what we're saying. CP3 is one of the best leaders in this game. If he is that leader, you have to get it done. I mean, this isn't how a good leader goes out in the season, right? We know he is a point guard. He's going to be pass first. But at this stage, when everything is on the line, you're down 3 games to 2, you have to be more aggressive. You have to make your own shots. I mean, you can't do this. Yeah, you had a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals, and you lost 4 straight games and ended up losing the NBA Finals. This is the biggest game of his career, and he honestly, I'm flat out didn't do it. You can't lose 4 straight games in NBA Finals. That's not good enough, and that's honestly kind of shocking. And that does affect his legacy a little bit. We know his playoff history, it's not the best, it's not the most prettiest, but to me, this does affect his legacy. I know he's a great player, I'm not saying he's not. I'll give him credit. At age 36, he led this young Suns to the Finals appearance, which is impressive, very impressive. He finished 5th in MVP voting, and he's always made teams better. He's an amazing player. But the fact is, in the playoffs, in this stage of the NBA Finals, the one time he made it, it's probably, he may not make it again. He lost 4 straight games and lost. I mean, and he had a 2-0 lead. That's just what's going to be said about it. And I think he needs to be given some of the blame. You can't pretty it up here. He has to be given some of the blame. This is the 4th time he's given up a 2-0 lead in the playoffs. He's the only player in NBA history to ever do that. And then in Game 5 against OKC in a 2-2 series, this was in 2015, he gave up a 7-point lead in 1 minute by having 2 turnovers in the last 20 seconds. And he didn't do it. In Game 4, when everything was on the line, I'll give it. Game 3, the Bucks deserved it. Okay, they won Game 3 fair and square. Game 4, it was one of the worst performances of his career, and he flat out choked in that game. 10 points in the entire game, 5 turnovers, 5 out of 13, 39% from the field. No threes, 7 assists, 4 rebounds in 37 minutes. That's not going to cut it. And a big mess up in the final seconds where he turned it over and allowed the Bucks to finish that comeback. Game 4 was honestly where the Suns lost this series, and CP3 has everything to do with that. If they had won that game, they'd be up 3 games to 2. Game 5, I'll give it to you. The Bucks played exceptional in that Game 5. CP3 did solid in Game 5. In Game 5, he had 21 points, 11 assists, 60% from the field, 3 out of 3 from 3. So he did his job. And then in Game 6, it wasn't really his fault. He did what he could. He just honestly had a disappearing act in that 4th quarter, honestly. Devin Booker hasn't been too consistent of a supporter. DeAndre Ayton wasn't too amazing in those last final games. I understand that. He didn't get the support. But in Game 4, he had all the support he needed. Booker scored 42 points. What else do you want him to do? Ayton got 17 rebounds. Crowder scored 15, and he had bench support. And he blew the series because of that. I mean, there's no other reason why he lost Game 4, only because of himself. So, I mean, it's so weird with CP3. Sometimes he looks like he's a 40-year-old and he needs to retire. And the other days, it's like vintage CP3. We're watching like one of the point God go at it. I mean, it's crazy. He's so inconsistent. Sometimes he can get it back. Sometimes he has, he can build it back from what he had before. But it's just not consistent enough that we're seeing from Chris Paul. He's 36. You got to realize that. I mean, he's not like a young guy. He's got a few more years left in this league. I think this was his last chance to get it done, honestly. But flat out, I think this has an effect on his legacy. a little bit. Okay, it's not something you should ignore really, because the Suns had their chances to get this done. Overall, in these finals, he was pretty decent. You know, overall finals numbers. Taking a look at it: 22 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, 54% from the field, 49% from three, which was 12 out of 23. He only made 12 threes. He was 9 out of 12 from the free throw line. Didn't draw too many fouls. He averaged 4 turnovers. I mean, that's not too great. You're not expecting that from him in 37 minutes. So it's not really too bad numbers. They're actually pretty decent. He upped his production from the regular season. But, you know, in critical moments, he faded. So, I mean, in Game 4, that tells you why. And in Game 5, he flat out did not do enough. I think he could have done more in Game 5 at the end. You know, he should be their closer, really. On Game 6, he put up 26 points and 5 assists, as well as a 3-pointer, 3 out of 4 from the free throw line, and 58% from the field. He did good in Game 6. Booker scored 19 only, and Aiden was just practically nowhere to be found. So, you know, in Game 1 and Game 2, this was where the vintage Chris Paul was. 32 points, 9 assists, 60% from the field, 4 out of 7 from 3 in Game 1. That was one of his best performances I've ever seen. And then Game 2, 23 points, 3 out of 5 from 3, 50% from the field, and 8 assists. So Game 1 and Game 2 were incredible. And then after that, when the games really mattered, Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, it just didn't get it done. And I think his legacy will be affected. Overall, he's one of the best ever. I'm not saying he's not. His legacy is insane. You know what CP3 is? He's probably the 7th best point guard of all time, in my opinion. After Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, Oscar Robertson, Isaiah Thomas, Walt Frazier, and Steve Nash. I think he's right there after them. So make no mistake, he's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest, but he's had his fair share of issues in the playoffs. And honestly, I feel bad for him. I don't think he's going to get that ring. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please go down, hit the like, subscribe, enable notifications, comment in the comment section what you think, and I hope to see you in the next video.